It could be other things about Trump. I mean, he's all over this stuff.
Or
and he's the one who could.
Or it could be nothing about. I mean, you know what I mean? I do think it is just as possible.
There's some reason why he doesn't want this to go out.
Could it be that it's a distraction from fixing the economy?
I don't.
This could have been a
from a lot of different things.
This could have been over 6 months ago.
Here's why I don't.
Sam Seder of the Majority Report went on Abby Phillip show, where Sam Seder and Abby Phillip tag teamed a MAGA stooge defending Donald Trump, the dear leader, over the Epstein files. We're going to take a look at a rare appearance of Sam Seder wearing a jacket and tie on Abby Phillip show on CNN. I'm going to share my thoughts as well. Let's get into this one together.
Hello, everyone. I'm Abby Phillip in New York. And for months, we have seen the cracks in MAGA world start to form. But this week, the earthquake some of Donald Trump's staunchest supporters have taken issue with is his foreign deals, his military strikes, his defense of Tucker Carlson's, his ballrooms, the economy, and for the most part, they disagree and move on. But one issue that Trump could not beat back. The president has tried keeping the Epstein files a secret. He's threatened Republicans. He's called them stupid. His Justice Department declared it case closed just a few months ago. His Republican speaker held up a vote for weeks. But when Trump realized that the vote wouldn't go in his favor, he turned the tables and he ordered the DOJ to investigate Democrats. Even though Epstein recently revealed emails mentioned Trump many times, including the claim that he knew about the girls. So, while the president did sign the bipartisan bill to release the files, there are still many questions about what we will see and when. And some MAGA voices are no longer following along blindly.
This is the end of the Trump administration. This is the beginning of the lame duck presidency. It's obvious to everyone, even his most ardent supporters show up to the White House, like Laura Ingraham, and she's kind of shocked, going, what the hell's going on?
Epstein files.
I heard there's no files. I heard it's a hoax. And then all of a sudden, he's going to release the files. Well, I thought there was no files.
Man.
He wants an investigation now.
Listen.
Like, what is going on?
What is going on? Instead, why do you think this has been the thing that after all of all the things that Trump has done, this is the thing that has caused MAGA to crack?
Well, I think there's few issues that make Trump look inauthentic, that make him side with the political establishment or insiders over outsiders. I think that the MAGA base is made up of a lot of different slices, and I've talked to many of them who really see Trump as a bulwark against the rich and powerful, even though he always embodied that every step of his career. They saw him as something that was an outsider against those folks. This has changed that, and I think has really kind of struck to the heart of what folks find a sequel that has been, I think, less tethered to the maybe working class values he espoused on trail. He hasn't actually followed through on that, on the economy, on the several other things. And I think Epstein has really crystallized that. It doesn't surprise me that this has been the issue to cut through noise, because particularly it matters, I think, in gerrymandered districts when things are reaching Republicans. And that is the slice of people. Reuters poll had 60% of Republicans thought the government was keeping parts of the Epstein file secret, had something to hide. Yeah. That's a unique issue among the landscape.
Yeah, to your point, this Marquette law poll asks the question a bit differently. It asks his approval rating on this Epstein situation. Among Republicans, he can't even hit 50% in terms of approval. He's at 43%. And then we're in the teens with Democrats and independents. Terry, what do you make of what Asted just said there? I mean, is this Trump really kind of betraying his outsider persona and siding with not just the establishment, but I mean, many in MAGA believe that this is a conspiracy, in the truest sense of the word, a cabal of people trying to protect the rich and the powerful. And Trump seems to be siding with them.
Yeah, look, I think that for most of the base in MAGA and a lot of the activists that were his most loyal supporters, I think this move was very shocking to them. They voted for him to expose the elite and the rich, and so they were shocked when he didn't want to release it. However, that's all coming true now. The documents are going to be released. We're going to see everything that's in there, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing for America. Now, I think there were a lot of reasons that you could decide to not want to release the full Epstein files, right? There are probably going to be a lot of innocent names of people. These are every email. These are the text messages. This is everything that Epstein ever touched. So there's going to be a lot of innocent people implicated in there that were not involved in sexual exploitation. But the reality is that President Trump, the question about whether or not he is an opponent of sexual exploitation of children is clear. He has been doing everything he can to clean up the Department of Education from all the sexual innuendo that's been pushed in our schools. He's been banning the sex change procedures for minors. But even he signed one of the most popular bills he signed into law this year was the Take It Down Act, which was to protect young people from sexual exploitation. These are the accusations. There's a lot of conspiracy theories out there that Trump is in the Epstein files, and that's the reason he didn't do it.
Well, we know he's in the Epstein files. That's
I love the look on Sam Seder's face, just waiting to pounce on this guy. It's unfortunate on this episode of Abby Phillip's show, Table for Five, that they brought in a Z-grade MAGA sycophant. This guy's name is Terry Schilling, which Schilling, what an appropriate name for this guy as he's just sitting here shilling for Donald Trump. And Abby Phillip is just like, what are you saying?
not a conspiracy.
But he's not implicated in
but he is in them.
But there's lots of people in there. And what's actually in there is Epstein and Michael Wolff trying to take him down.
Well, that's in the emails that are from his estate that are more recent in nature. The actual Epstein files, we're talking about investigative documents, we're talking about photographs, we're talking about things that go back to where this really all started, which is decades ago.
And also the bill that you talk about, perhaps innocent people, I just want to point something out. From my understanding, the bill was made so that they could protect certain peoples whose names were mentioned, and so therefore they might be redacted. But I do believe that if in fact everything is released, I mean, I can't tell, it sounded like there were all of these different, caveats, but if everything is released, it'll be clear and present danger who is dangerous, in the sense that they're not going to just mention names of people and say that person did it. If in fact it comes out the way it does, I still have my reservations. I still feel like there might be things that we aren't going to see fully. I don't know about President Trump being an advocate for children, if you will, and making sure that they're protected. I don't know much about that, but what I do know, he is in the files, and most of his presidency, he's saying, guess what? We don't need to look at this. It's no big deal. It's no big deal. There's nothing here. Now he's like, it's all about the Democrats.
He's not only said it's no big deal, he's been the one who has stopped the release of these files. He could say tomorrow, he didn't need legislation for this.
Correct.
He could have released these things. And the idea that he has somehow some bona fides, they're pulling DHS people off of human trafficking. They're pulling FBI off of human trafficking to go and essentially, arrest restaurant owners or people working in restaurants. So, I mean, his priorities are a complete joke in that regard. But we don't know what's in there, and it could be even more expansive than him protecting a pedophile. It could involve financial irregularities. It could be other things about Trump. I mean, he's all over this stuff.
Or
he's the one who could.
Or it could be nothing about. I mean, you know what I mean? I do think it is just as possible.
There's some reason why he doesn't want this to go out.
Could it be that it's a distraction from fixing the economy?
I don't.
This could have been a
from a lot of different things.
This could have been over 6 months ago.
Here's why I don't think that's a plausible explanation.
So think about with this Schilling guy here saying to Sam Seder and Abby Phillip and the rest. So Donald Trump, he just wants to protect children. When we all have heard the stories about Miss Teen USA that Donald Trump ran, and that there were girls who were contestants in the Miss Teen USA who said that Donald Trump went into their dressing rooms and leered at them while they were changing clothes. So we really are supposed to believe that Donald Trump cares about protecting young girls, like the young girls that have also testified as to things that they say that Donald Trump did to them, girls who were in the Epstein files. We really think that he's trying to protect young girls? And do we really think that Donald Trump cares about protecting innocent people that might be caught up in the Epstein files? Is that really the reason that Donald Trump would not want these files to be released? Does anybody actually buy that?
Because again, there are many things that happen that are a distraction from the economy that Trump is very much actively engaged in. He threw Marjorie Taylor Greene underneath a 50-ton bus, this week. And here's what she had to say about that. And I think it's really telling that she is the one who is really on the receiving end of Trump's ire on this issue.
I wasn't a Johnny-come-lately to the MAGA train. I was day one 2015. And I'll tell you right now, this has been one of the most destructive things to MAGA. Watching this actually turn into a fight has ripped MAGA apart. And the only thing that will speak to the powerful, courageous women behind me is when action is actually taken to release these files, and the American people won't tolerate any other bull.
I mean,
That's
she's not wrong that
Yeah.
this has ripped MAGA apart in a way that we have not seen. And there have been so many things that Trump has thought are distractions he doesn't like, whatever. He has never reacted this way.
her. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I also think that people haven't really fully appreciated that for the day ones, the people like Marjorie Taylor Greene that, in her community, they think they chose Donald Trump. They see themselves as a movement amongst themselves, in which Donald Trump embodied, certainly grew, but they think of themselves as somewhat beyond him.
But we should also talk about those who say that she's doing this for a reason. Despite the fact that they think she has ulterior motives, I do believe that she truly is upset with this person that she believed in, because he is her day one. She is the person who wanted.
I think a lot of things can be true at once. She certainly has individual political goals. I'm not discounting those type of things, but I do believe I've met these people who are kind of day one MAGA folks who really have followed the QAnon trail, who have followed
and all of this
Pizzagate, and who have really seen him as a champion against the elite.
Sure.
And so I'm saying in this moment, there has been a break because he has taken the wrong side on an issue, and they're not going to come back.
I do wonder if it is partly the case that the organizing principle that underlies the personality, cult of Trump is this idea that he was going after the elite establishment, they really do think, I use the word cabal in a very specific, because they use that term to describe the sort of global elite, so to speak. That's why Pizzagate happened. Somebody went to a pizza shop with a weapon and shot the place up. And to have that house of cards just completely fall apart, it feels like it's destabilizing.
Well, I mean, drain the swamp. Right? I mean, this is what you were talking about with the swamp, with this sort of notion that all these elites are going to protect each other, and he's now ostensibly protecting these elites. And I will also say that, Sted made a great point, I think. This also serves, I think, as a surrogate for a lot of other frustrations that people may be having in the MAGA movement with Trump. But it's much harder to articulate, and not just it's
politically
more
tricky.
It's politically more tricky to articulate, and this is something that's sort of low hanging. It also serves as like a descendant of QAnon and all this.
We do have to leave it there on this one. Next for us.
Sam Seder's right, and this is kind of it. The Epstein files. If the tables were completely turned, now we hear people on the right say, well, what about Bill Clinton? And everybody that I know on the left is saying, hey, if Bill Clinton's in there, he should face justice as well. I don't see anybody on the left who is saying, well, if it's somebody on the left, we don't want them to be prosecuted, but we only want Donald Trump. They're saying, hey, left, right, center, don't care, prosecute all of them. But if this were a Democrat-only issue, I mean, imagine how hard the Republicans would be going on this. It would just be... They would be on every show, release the files. So like Sam Seder is saying, it's tricky for them because this is an issue where, since there are possibly some Democrats in there implicated as well, they want to go after that. But Donald Trump is possibly the biggest fish in all of this because of the very close relationship and friendship that Donald Trump had with Jeffrey Epstein. And I think Carrie Champion is onto something as well with Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't really know what her angle is here exactly in terms of Marjorie Taylor Greene. Is this strictly just political? It could be, as some people think. And I have a lot of issues with Marjorie Taylor Greene in terms of her policy stances and just horrible things that she said. But I do kind of think maybe this is somewhat personal to her, that she feels somehow let down by Donald Trump on all of this. And I feel like it doesn't really matter if it's political or not. If other Republicans will come to this same conclusion that they can go after Trump on this as well, I think that's a good thing for everybody and a good thing for the country. And in terms of what Sam Seder is saying here about Donald Trump being the swamp and, this idea that people thought he was going to take down the elites. I mean, I've actually talked to people just in my own life, people that I know, that I grew up with, who honestly believe that Donald Trump got close to Epstein so he could take him down somehow. Like Trump is this secret agent or, a private detective or something, which I mean is just, you have to do a whole lot of mental gymnastics to get to that. But let me know what you think about all this. this. Do you agree with what Sam Seder had to say? I love seeing him on Abby Phillip show. Like I say, I wish he was going up against Scott Jennings or Ben Ferguson, one of the A teams, and I use that term sarcastically, but one of the A-level MAGA goons who go on Abby Phillip show instead of this guy Terry Schilling, who I had never seen before and is not a match for Sam Seder. But let me know what you think. Are you on the side of Sam Seder, Abby Phillip, and the other people who see the reality of what's going on with Trump and the Epstein files, or are you on the side of MAGA and the MAGA pundits like Terry Schilling? Make sure to give me a like and subscribe. I'm Chris on Culture, and I will see you in the next video.